Video number three. Three videos today, not bad. I've been doing this a lot, but I've been taking a lot of notes as well. Hi, how are you? Remember, if you're actually like watching a video and you feel like you kind of like want to get in the vibe properly, look at what I'm wearing and check if there are a couple of videos before that where I'm wearing the same thing. I'm making it a point to wear something different every day. I actually like start a video because normally I go through them one video at a time, like three, four videos. And even though they're different concepts, there's a certain vibe that gets carried on, and there's a certain theme that gets carried on. But I think the theme of today is more how you get to know yourself or what it means to get to know yourself. And I say get to know yourself versus knowing yourself because knowing yourself is a statement, but getting to know yourself is more of a negotiation, an interaction. A form of like this is what I want, but this is what I'm capable of, this is what I want, but this is not what I like, and like basically things like this. Ultimately, I go back to my own personal philosophy. There's our body, there's our mind, and there's us. The me, myself, and I. I is beyond everything. It's the soul, maybe. I don't know. It's the essence of life. Myself is what? Is the representation of this world. It's the ego, this body, this voice, this tone. And me, my mind, maybe. Or me is the actual body and myself is my mind. And getting to know myself is basically adjusting my mind to be able to get to know I. I'm fucking with you guys. But anyways, so based on the theme of today, I'm gonna read you what I want to talk about. Going through something, or something is going through me. Here, have you ever heard ourselves say, I'm going through something? Is it happiness? Is it an experience? Let's say we are actually processing something, sadness, happiness, certain kind of engagement, a new kind of engagement. Every once in a while, you find yourself kind of like wanting to be alone or wanting to be with people. And sometimes you look at those, and you look at these times, and you realize there's a need for something to either be dealt with, covered up, handled. You find yourself wanting to talk more, or you're finding yourself wanting to isolate more. I think it depends on the character, but these things normally are a sign that you are processing something, that your mind is taking its time, putting things in place, re-establishing something, building a stronger base, building a different base, building a more malleable base, all these kinds of things. For us, human beings, I don't know about animals. I think animals are becoming more conscious because you can tell when dogs are actually acting and talking to you and like doing all kinds of things, especially when they press on the words. They truly understand us, and that's a sign of consciousness, right? That's a sign of them actually having a brain that's processing properly. But when it comes to me, I notice that if I say I'm going through something, it's as if the whole world around me is encompassing something, is covering something that I have to get through. And it brings me back to the whole centered ego that has to like successfully drive through or like triumphantly meet this at the other side. Feels more as a challenge. But I don't see life as a challenge, at least anymore, not anymore. Because I truly understand that everything that's around me right now is because I don't really have a proper understanding of what I am asking from life and from myself. Because uh, look at me this way, look at it this way. I right now literally have about 30 cents to my name. And the whole week, I have a meeting tomorrow with a client that I'm working on for a website. I'm hoping tomorrow she actually brings some cash with her because I really have nothing. But every single step I have taken throughout the past month has not really been to secure money. It has been to finish some writings, do more videos, engage more with like the people around me to understand what's happening, establish how I'm going to start writing code again and building a website again and all these kinds of things, and how I'm going to approach my days and organizing them from the business perspective of what I want to the personal perspective and being able to separate business from personal. Because YouTube for me, true, it's for the business, but it's a personal approach. Like the business, the YouTube that I'm going to start for the business is going to be more named under the business and more documentation of the business and what we're trying to do and how I'm trying to do it. And so there's like a lot of things that I have to kind of like get done. And for me, when I started saying I have to go through them, I'm going through this reorganizational phase in my life. It felt overwhelming because everything in front of me, everything became like a lot bigger. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's not bigger, but for me, in comparison, I started feeling smaller. But then when I say something is going through me, it's because instead of looking at my organization, the skills that I have to build, the new form of approach to my reality, as what I'm going to have to go through and what it needs and requires as skills in order for me to get there, me having to go through them, it became a lot easier for me to say something is going through me because ultimately I am the one who's handling everything, which means why would I dive deep into something and when that something is coming towards me? The minute I made a decision, I'm going to shift how I exist. Everything regarding that shift started showing up. But not once did I consider my financial status, which is on me. So allowing these things to go through me and acknowledging the necessities would allow my reality to expose itself to the things that would support it. And so going through something is me encompassing all the aspects of whatever that something could be. I want you to imagine me trying to get organized or somebody trying to get organized when they weren't organized. If they're trying to get organized, they have to let go of a lot of this non-organizational stuff that they have. So it becomes a lot easier for you, instead of starting to become organized, start to become less unorganized because you're already familiar with that stuff. And then every single thing that contributed to you not being organized literally like just goes through you and leaves you and allows you to kind of just be free to and opens your mind and your reality to a lot more organization. And the same is with having a relationship with somebody. Instead of saying I'm going to start having a relationship with somebody, start saying I'm going to like not really do the things that may kept me single. That way those things go through me instead of I have to go through a new relationship and process a new relationship. Why would we want to add more energy? Why would we want to use more energy that exists in our head instead of us actually allowing the things that exist in our life? They're manifesting the reality that we have right now. I didn't want to use that word. I love the word manifesting, but I think it's abused by everyone. But like we're the creators of our own reality, which literally means our reality is a product of the things that we are doing or not doing. But it's a lot easier for you to kind of like, because we compartmentalize everything about our reality, whether we choose to be intentional about it or not. And so our existence and how we actually like manufacture this reality is the first thing that needs to leave us. So anytime you're going through something to start something new, What you're actively going through is what was there. You're processing that stuff. And we normally use the new stuff as a point of reference. Like I want to be exercising more. So instead of processing going to the gym, process the fact that you don't move as much. And then suddenly going to the gym becomes a lot easier simply because you got over the fact that you don't move as much. And these small things, the give and takes, the small engagements that we have with ourselves, the negotiations, like what are we truly negotiating? So in business as well, like I go back to it because I'm getting closer and closer to establishing my own business approach to my own business. And I really want to do a series on how business analysis affected how I think about myself. But when you're negotiating, most people just negotiate money. And if you're negotiating on a job, they would be like, they would negotiate salary. But like, what's stopping you from negotiating downtime? What's stopping you from negotiating where you work? What's stopping you from negotiating the perks of working there and like some extra insurance or travel benefits? Like all of these are potential things to negotiate with. And it makes a lot more sense for us to get a package deal as we process something and to have something like that kind of like go through us instead of us having to enter like a realm of like a lot of unknowns. Why not let go of the things that we already know and have them be processed? And to be able to, instead of go through something, have something go through us, and then our efforts are minimized and minimal. And ultimately, we still reach the same goal without actively like exerting ourselves in any way possible. Get to know yourself, man. Negotiation is an art.